This video continues to demo how we can build a Slack app and integrate OpenAI into your Slack workspace. You may refer to the same GitHub repository in the description or at the end of video for the code implementation. In our previous video, we have gone through how to make use of Slack Event Subscription, AWS Lambda, and AWS SQS to build a Slack message event handler. The diagram summarizes the flow of data and illustrated the handling logic, which simply echo users' input as reply message. We can implement more complex logic in our handler Lambda. In this video, we will forward the message to OpenAI via API and pass the response back to user. We will also be able to use OpenAI features like function calls. Let's do a demo first. Here's the Slack app that was created in our last video, and I have updated our handler Lambda to link up with OpenAI. We will start some conversations like, how is the weather like in Southeast Asia? Here is the reply from OpenAI, which gives a pretty detailed account of the weather and different seasons in the region. Our Slack integration keeps the conversation context, just like how ChatGPT works on its portal. We can continue the conversation like, is ASEAN an organization in the region, or is Singapore part of it? The context of what does the region refer to and what does the it refer to are not lost in the conversation. Besides simple conversations, we can make use of other features of OpenAI, for example, function call. As we know, so far all LLM models only capture public information up to the date that the model is released. Via function calls, we allow LLM to do extra things. For example, we have set up a function to find out today's date and the time now. We will now ask about the recent USA presidents and how old they are. As we can see, the function to find the current date time has integrated very naturally in the conversation. Let's try one more time. We ask, how far is Singapore National Day from today? We can use function calls to not only perform information retrieval, but also actual actions like send out emails, set up resources in cloud, run Git pipelines. This greatly extends the use case of OpenAI and its integration. Now let's dive a bit more on how Slack app integrated with OpenAI. OpenAI API has two integration methods for chatting. First is via its chat completion API. This API requires us to repeatedly send over the entire chat history as our conversation extends. When user sends a new messages, we need to recollect the past thread, including those replied by OpenAI, and send in as part of the new request. To query the thread history, we can call Slack Messages API. However, this will hit API rate limit very easily. Our solution here is to include an AWS DynamoDB to store the conversation threads as shown on the screen. This makes the integration more scalable. Second method to integrate with OpenAI is via its new Assistant API. This API allows us to create a thread at the back end of OpenAI. As our conversation extends, we only need to send new user message to OpenAI along with the thread ID. In order to keep track of which thread ID our Slack conversation belongs to, we create an AWS DynamoDB, which keeps a mapping between Slack thread ID and OpenAI Assistant thread ID. Our Git repository implemented integration for both Chat Completion API and Assistant API. Also, it supports not only the standard OpenAI API endpoint, but also the Azure OpenAI service. Azure OpenAI service allows integration with Azure AI Search as an integrated RAG solution for LLM. In summary, as a continuation from last video, we built an integration with OpenAI on top of the Slack event handler, which brings ChatGPT into Slack workspace. If we add the Slack app to a channel, multiple people can interact with OpenAI at the same time. Our integration also support OpenAI features like function calls. Hope you find this video useful and interesting. Thanks for watching.